Hi, it's me again with Corel Roll Tips and Tricks, and I helped somebody with this today, and they sent me the final version, and it's good. But I'm a little particular, and your text to path is a little bit off if you look at how close the T is to the top of there. It's not a big deal, but I thought I'd just share. He didn't ask for help, but I'm going to give him some help. If you take this text, move it out of the way, you can actually go to text and straighten text to get a text back straight. I don't know why it's crooked like that, but that's beside the point. And then what I would do to get it better, this thing's 162. I want to make my nudge factor 170 millimeters. I don't know what that is. And I am going to create some circles. And well, that one is 161.902. And I'm going to put it in the center of the page, and there it is. I'm going to nudge it over. And then on the other one, I'm just going to Control D and make a duplicate of that, and then bring that in and hit P, and then expand it, holding the Shift key down so you kind of expand it outward. Whoop, don't want to do that. You want to just grab that line, holding down the Shift key, and just, you want it right on top of that line. Now we're going to nudge it over. That's your space between your two text to path that you can get. We need to just set it on one text to path, so go to text, fit text to path, and put it right here on the bottom one, and you get the red line so you know you're in the middle. And then what you can do is raise it up and just kind of visually see it more in the middle than the other was. Then you can select it all and nudge it over, and it looks a lot better. Now we need to break it apart, break text apart, and get rid of that other circle. I think that looks a little better. The other thing, and it's just here or there, the fellowship's a little high. If you take your parallel dimension tool and measure from the bottom of that L to about there, and then from the top of that L to there, they really ought to be kind of the same. And you see they're one's at 498, one's at something else. You can nudge this. You can take that text and nudge it. Well, remember I've got my nudge factor set real high. So let's set our nudge factor on 0.01. Let's zoom in here. And there's a couple of ways you could do this. You know, I do a lot just by visual sight, but we're at 520 and 760. You've got to kind of forget about the P, because the P is always going to be lower. So now we're at 691 and 620, 625, 665, 650, 653. So now your word is more in the center. And that could also be done if, well, let me just use the one I have because we know it's in the center of the page. If your artwork is in the center of the page, we can take that fellowship and hit P and then start moving it. Well, that might be a problem. We can move the Christ out of the way for a second. And now it's more in the center of the page. And that ought to measure the same. Do the same thing with this word. Start moving and hold down the control button, and it's going to be even. The same thing here. I mean, that looks a little askew, and I'm just nitpicking here, but I'm trying to help him. So let's take this and hit, see if we can't just do it without moving it. Put center of the page. Start moving and hold down the control button, and then it's right in the middle. There are several ways you can do that, but this is probably the easiest. And this is one of the reasons I like working in the center of the page. Start moving in, then hold down your control button, and then move Christ back to P, center of the page, I just think it looks a little better. The action needs to be, in action needs to be done the same thing. Just, you could possibly quite even move that down a little bit and not change the arc. A lot of times with a short abbreviated word like that, you can just move it down and it won't change your text to path. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.